The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
And three, two, one. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. It is Powtoon's Visual Communications and Your Company's Post-COVID Return joint webinar with a special guest from Hibob. I am Nick Liebman, head of content here at Powtoon, and I'm being joined today by Daniel Nathan, head of customer success for Powtoon from our London office. Daniel, Dan, are you on the line with me today?
I am here. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Dan here from Powtoon's Customer Success Department. Welcome, everybody.
Coming in loud and clear. So glad to have you with me today. I wouldn't want to host a webinar with anyone else, Dan Nathan. You are just such a wonderful, calming presence to have, both for our customers and for me. So I'm really grateful for that. And all of you wonderful people who are joining us today for this webinar. We had over 1,600 people register, which is really, really wonderful. If you guys would be so kind, just so that we know that you're hearing us, that you're seeing my screen, please do chime into that question box. Tell us your name, tell us where you're joining us from, and let us know, is your company headed back to the office yet? Are they reopening businesses in your area? How is that all going? Do you guys have a plan? How are you communicating that plan to each other, to your clients or potential customers, internally in the organization? Miriam says, hi Nick, hi Daniel. Hello, so glad to have you here. Anyone else, please feel free to chime in. We've got Janae, who's joining us from Akron. And sorry, let me just click into here so I can see her whole comment. Reopening carefully and regular communication. Yes, I think that being careful is the way to go. We've got Philip here, who's in film production. Welcome. We've got Dahlia, who's joining us all the way from the Philippines. Welcome. We've got Lisa, who tells us not in the office, but many colleagues returning from furlough and either working in the field or at home. Very good. Philip's joining us from Germany, by the way. Also, we've got Marlene, also from the Philippines. We've got Juan joining us from Ecuador, still working at home. Lisa is joining us from Jamaica. Lovely, lovely, lovely weather in Jamaica. We've got Miriam from Italy. This is what a global crew we've got today. Hi from Dublin, says Cleona. I hope I'm saying that right. Cleona. And we've got Kim joining us from Maryland. Hello, Kim. So glad to have you. Wanda, who's joining us from South Carolina State University. Love it. Yes, universities, educational institutions. How did you round out the year? What are the plans for the fall? And we've got so many people here. Bruce, who's joining us from Fort Worth. Texas is opening big time, but the college I work for is online all summer. Let's see here. We've got so many wonderful people joining us, but this is not why you guys came today, not to hear me read names or say hello to you. You came for this wonderful webinar. We've got a very special guest, Zoe Haimovitch, who was the VP of Content Experience at Hibob. We're going to get into all of that, her amazing research into attitudes around working from home and returning to the office. We're going to take a look at the top 5 video templates for visual communication success returning from your work from home situation. And of course, your questions answered live towards the end. Dan Nathan, tell me, what are we hearing on the customer support side about returning to the office, and what's the role visual communications are playing?
Yeah, so thanks, Nick. Very interesting. Welcome, everybody. Really interesting to see some of a lot of familiar names as well coming in today from all over. I'm based in London myself, so we're hearing lots of different things, Nick. My support team, who are based in, actually, they have their own experiences. They're based in several offices around the world. We're hearing lots of things. Depending where they are in the world, people are returning to work already. We're also hearing a lot of people are returning in smaller sections of staff. So, for example, certain companies, in particular around Ireland, are allowing 25% of staff back in at a time, and they're doing it stagnated or segmented throughout the next few months. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we're hearing about Powtoon is the uptake in visual communication, particularly in regards to preparing employees for, well, when they go back to the office, let's say things are not going to be how they remember, okay? Most likely there's going to be fewer employees, there's going to be more health and safety checks, more sanitary equipment available, and employees are probably most likely not going to be sitting together anymore. So employees going back to the office are going to be in for quite a shock. So what Powtoon are doing, or in fact what we've seen a lot of clients do with Powtoon, is utilize Powtoon in a way to prepare those employees. And in fact, Powtoon themselves, we've created let's say a short gallery of different back to work safety guides for COVID-19, what to expect when to get back into the office, using a lot of Powtoon templates that we've created for you. And there's one very interesting, let's say, discussion I had with a client last week. I'll have to call them Client X because they are, due to privacy laws, we can't actually tell you the name. But I'm going to share with you one story that they've told us about last week. So Client X has a project called Project X, and it's a return to work initiative. And what they've actually done is they've created a native app, a smartphone app that they've built using Android and iOS, and it's going to be used by employees to log their GPS location, and employees who come within 2 meters of each other will get notified, and then employees who are actually, let's say, tested positive for COVID-19 will actually upload that results information into the app, and therefore using track and trace technology within the app, employees will be able to find out whether or not they need to self-isolate. It's a complicated app, but what they've done is brilliantly, they've used Powtoon to explain it using animation, using abstract images to make it more straightforward, to make the whole process of using this app, which is absolutely critical to getting this organization back on its feet. It's they've produced some really good stuff. So we're seeing some really dynamic, really creative ways of people using Powtoon to prepare their organizations, to prepare their teams and their employees for returning to work.
It's amazing. And that those anecdotal experiences, those things we're hearing from customers, the things we're hearing from the very people joining us today on the webinar, it's not just an anecdote. It's backed up by data. How do I know? Because of our wonderful guest today, Zoe Haimovitch, VP of Content Experience for Hibob. She's going to, first of all, tell us what is Hibob, why is she in a position to know this stuff, and what have they discovered in their research about people's attitudes working from home and returning to the office. Zoe, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're coming in loud and clear. So glad you're joining us today. I don't want to take any time away from your awesome research, so if it's okay with you, I say we dive right in.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm glad to be here joining Powtoon. I'd like to share with you the research we've done from our customers, from our platform, and from the market. The future of work is hybrid. We believe, after researching this thousands of people and hundreds of companies, that in the end and the near future, everybody's going to be using a hybrid model of working from home and working from the office. It's not going to be so simple to just do an undo like we do on Word. People are not going to be coming back to the office the same way they left it in one day. And I want to share with you what we've learned from customers and employees and different people we work with.
Awesome.
About Bob, just a little bit. We are an HR information system platform, HR people management platform, and we believe that successful businesses have one thing in common: good people who feel valued, and that dynamic modern businesses need a better way of doing HR to attract and keep real talent. And we have a very unique HRIS that our customers love. Our ecosystem is very, very integrated. Our people management platform has modules to manage talent, performance, benefits, compensation, and payroll, and connects to all the suppliers that people work with, normally the vendors they work with. And whether it's ATS or applicant tracking and sourcing, or even other payroll systems, we just connect to. Of course, we can use Bob. Employees use Bob with Slack or MS Teams in the flow of work. They can request time off and do things directly from Slack. But everything is managed, and all the analytics and all the data comes from Bob and collected on Bob.
Yeah, so you guys really sit right there at the interface between how businesses operate and how the people in businesses get things done.
Right, exactly. And our platform is both for the HR managers and for the employees.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick look at the history of HR tech. It used to be systems of record, where it was to track employee records, and it was for the manpower manager, and it was the employee was an ID record, and the platform was something on premise for the company. And then it became system of resource, where with SAP and Oracle, and it was HR centric to automate processes like payroll, performance reviews, and time tracking. And the user was an HR admin or finance admin, and the employee was an ID record. And the platform was could have been SaaS, it was the same one, top-down, complex implementation. And it's very expensive. And now Bob is part of systems of engagement, where it's centric to people, to enable employees, managers, and HR to engage and communicate. The user are team managers, people officers, C-suite, and employees themselves. They interact with Bob. And the employee is a person and a part of a tribe with a timeline that represents their journey at work, and they have access to the information on the system. And the platform is agile and personal and social and easy to use, and it's very it's just like a internal social platform, social media platform, and it works in the flow of work. So it was a big shift in HR tech, and now Bob is part of those platforms that are fun to use and employees want to use and communicate with.
Amazing.
But I want to talk to you about the future of work and what we've learned from our customers. And our customers, we have hundreds of HR managers that we've been communicating with continuously during this crisis, and adjusting our product to them, and when they had to go fully remote within a day or a week, and new statuses of furlough and all the other things you can imagine. So we say the COVID-19 pandemic has created the biggest work from home experiment in the world, and it worked well for the most part. And HR teams were the center of this new normal of work, because everybody reached out to them. Where do we go? When do we come back?
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Where do we record? What's my status? What do I ask for? How do I take care of this issue? And so what ended up happening is we went home for social distancing. We were asked to work from home so we can stay safe and healthy. And we ended up saying, hey, we want to stay at home because we feel more productive. And it was an interesting insight. Still, the most important thing we found is communication was key during this abrupt change. And when we asked people how confident were they in their company to overcome the challenges caused by COVID-19, we found that overall, 66% were confident that their company would be able to overcome. But the informed ones, the ones that had communications and HR was communicated with them, the company was communicating with them, 82% were confident. And if we looked at it the other way around, if 63% felt informed, the ones that were informed, 79%. So it's completely correlated how well you feel about your company's ability to overcome the challenge and how informed you are. It goes hand in hand. So information and connecting to people that are away, working from home continuously, makes them feel confident that they have an organization to come back to, and that their organization is there and is working and alive. And so the communication is vital.
Excellent.
Just a couple of information from our platform. I wanted to share that when we saw, this is actual data from our platform in the week of March 9th, when it's to March 22nd, like the first couple of weeks after people were sent to work from home. We have a social feature on Bob where people can say, like, do shout outs, introduce people, say thank you to people, share information about things with customers and things like that. The use of shout out went like bonkers on the system. It was like growth was 173%. And the reaction to the shout outs grew by 62%. And so we asked, why is this? And you see that people need to communicate. This is things they were telling to each other at the office, and now they were using Bob and the social platform on Bob to do shout outs and tell people, hey, this happened, you know, we moved, we're doing this, we're doing that. People needed to share and talk to each other using this intra-company solution. And the same thing, next slide, with kudos, people were saying thank you, and they were saying more and more thank you to each other, just for little things, okay? Thank you for solving this problem with a customer. Thank you for getting the call. Thank you for being there. And it was really helpful, because we don't only have our own little team that we work with. We have a big company that needs to interact. And this was extremely helpful. But back to our research and our customers, and we tried to see if there was a difference between individual contributors, middle management, and senior management in terms with how confident they were in the company's ability to overcome the challenges and how informed they were. And you can see that in general, senior managers felt more confident, but they were also more informed. So we really urge, our basic recommendation is, don't keep the information with senior level managers. Share with everyone how you're coping, what's happening, you know, how the company's doing, how many calls are being made, anything to make people feel that the company is still going, because you're sitting there at your home. You don't know that CS is answering 1,000 calls. When you look at communication with managers, we have the same issue. You can see that people feel that they can communicate with their managers. They were at home. They still feel that, you know, 32% said, 32% of females, 26% of males says, hey, I always get in touch with my manager when I need them. 40% said, I often get in touch. Okay, so people feel very connected to their managers, and we checked age differences. You can see that that younger people feel even more empowered to connect to their managers than older people. But in general, people felt connected to their managers. And what we always wanted to make sure that the ones that don't feel that they can, and you see that there's still 27 to 30% that feel that they weren't connected enough. So, but still we can say that 70% feel, even though they went to work from home. And then when we looked at communication with teams, those weren't as good as communications with managers, okay? On average, okay, if you look at the total, 53% said sort of, there is some communication with my teammates, and only 41% said, yes, I communicate with my teammates often, and 23% I regularly and effectively. So we need to work on communication with team while we work from home, and we need to do it better. But you can see again that actually it's not different by senior manager, middle managers. It's more about, in general, we need to work harder on communication with teams than on communications with managers. Keep going. Defining tasks while work from home was an interesting issue. People felt that their managers took a big initiative to make sure that their tasks were defined to them. You can see that 54% of individual contributors felt that their tasks and priorities were well defined, okay? But it could have been better. They are somewhat defined and well defined. And so ask yourself, do you feel that the tasks and priorities you give are well defined and are clear? Because, and that was part of the issues of task management tools and all of these other tools we use. People need to have their tasks well defined, even more so when they work from home. And in general, when we ask people what the work from home experience was like, okay, people are saying, 56% were saying I'm able to perform my job sufficiently working from home, and 16% were actually saying I'm able to go above and beyond while working from home, which is an interesting finding. We did not expect people to say that.
Mm.
And we see it more and more with our customers. And actually 28% only said that they are not able to perform their job well at home. And so again, we need to clearly identify who's where and see how we can help them.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked them about what is the work from home experience like. You see that 14%, didn't matter male or female, said that they are not productive at all. And actually 20 and 22% say they're more productive work from home than work from the office. So this is the proof of what we were saying. People were actually saying we feel more productive. And we asked them, do you feel that your work environment is conducive to working from home in the long term? And you can see that senior managers actually were saying 60% were saying yes, it's very conducive to working from home in the long term. 46% were saying middle managers and 41% of individual contributors. So we're saying, okay, if we are going to work from home long term, how do we make it work that way? How do we make sure everybody has a place to work that they feel productive and comfortable working from home? And we asked them, do you feel you have the equipment and resources you need to perform your job effectively from home? And you can see that if we look at the bottom, yes, I have everything I need to work from home, is about 20% across the board of people. And another 37 to 40% say I have most of what I need. Still, we have, okay, about 40%, they don't have everything they need to work from home efficiently. And this was at the about beginning of May. So I would say we can fix that, okay? And what was the work from home experience like? You can see that that they are, we wanted to check female parents to see if they feel less empowered, more empowered. And we basically saw that actually female parents, 15% said we feel more productive working from home than working from the office. And male parents, okay, were like 13% more. So actually being a parent did not hinder that experience at all. Even though kids were home and all those issues, people did not feel, they figured it out, they learned how to work from home. And still we wanted to see what are they looking forward most about returning from home. And we can see that the answers are getting back to their normal work routine. So people want to go back to their routine. If there's anything good about going back, is getting back to a certain routine. But this routine, it can be now redefined, okay? But you can definitely see that older people, 45 to 54, were saying, I want to get back to my old routine, and only 41% of younger people. But overall, you can see it's not that different. That was the biggest thing, getting back to their routine. And I thought work-life balance would be the biggest issue, but it wasn't. And what is the favorite aspect of your job? We asked them, and interesting enough, people said the work I do. And if that answer is the biggest answer, the most important answer to people, then I guess they don't mind if they do it at home. It's not where I do it from, it's what I do. And, you know, and only 27% said, my colleagues, I enjoy, and actually it doesn't hinder it. If they have good colleagues, they enjoy them working from home as well.
Amazing.
I know. And so you can see I checked parenting and that issue as well. I wanted to see, and actually you can see that the highest answer to compensation is the most important thing of the favorite aspect of their job was for male parents. They were at 28%, but most of the people still said, he checked, you know, female parents, you see 42%. So I think female parents were actually empowered working from home.
Cool. Amazing. You know, I do think that that's a little counterintuitive. And just in general, you would think that people would be struggling with this, but I think we saw also at Powtoon, after the first couple of weeks, we began to sort of find that level of comfort where we could make the time or work kind of, you know, take a break to deal with the kids or take a break to be in meetings. And we all sort of found a rhythm. I think that I assume that sort of thing happened in many, many, many companies as well.
This slide is interesting because we checked age differences, and it's like there's like this bathtub situation. If you look at the answer to what are your most favorite aspect about your job, you can see that the youngest population, 18 to 24, and the oldest population, 55 plus, answer the same. And they say, my colleagues, I enjoy working with the people I am in the company. And in the middle, they're also very similar to each other. And although still the work I do is most important, but you can see that it's like, and if you look at the other answer, the compensation and benefits package, is you see that the older people, that's not what motivates them. And it's actually the 25 to 34 ones that is the issue. And it's very interesting. And company culture, by the way, is very important to the 25 to 34-year-olds.
Yeah, look at that.
They're the ones leading this. And again, I checked it by managers. Again, we can skip this one. Now we wanted to ask them about coming back, and I think this is an important part of this webinar. And we asked people, how comfortable are you to get back to working at the office? And you can see that approximately, between 53% and 60% are feeling pretty confident to come back. It's 4 and 5, where about 40 to 50% are saying we're not comfortable coming back. And we actually did an internal questionnaire and made sure that we knew who are the people that are not comfortable coming back yet, and not pushing them to do so. I don't think there's any benefit in pushing people that are not comfortable to come back yet. And you can see that senior managers are more comfortable and middle managers are more comfortable. And again, I think it's because they are more informed. And they know what to expect, what's it going to be like in the office. People need to feel more comfortable. They need to know how you have adjusted the office and everything so they are safe. Hey, we sent them all within a week to go home, to work from home. Now bringing them back, we need to say, hey, we're organized. We know what we're doing. Okay, not everybody feels as safe. And how comfortable are you with measuring your temperature and reporting it? In many countries, you're going to have to report your temperature before you come to work, and you have to sign off on it. I know they're doing it in Israel in many places. I know they're doing it in other places. Surprisingly enough, people said, yeah, I don't mind. I'll report my temperature. I don't feel it's infringing on my privacy. I don't mind saying what my temperature is. Still, again, as comfortable it is to see the people that don't mind, there's a lot of people that do. Okay, so we need to be aware of that. And when they're most looking forward, you can see that there isn't much difference between male and female. And again, with senior managers and individuals, keep going. Then we asked them, you know what? After working from home during these times, would you prefer to be able to work from home regularly? And what we found is 36% say, hey, and these are not people that worked remote before. This is important to share. I actually prefer to work from the office. 36% said that. Hey, I've been productive. It's okay. I'm doing it, but I prefer to come back and work from the office. 43% said, hey, I prefer to work from home, but it would be better to work from the office one at a time. So people are very aware of their need to do things in a flexible manner. Okay, I prefer to work from home, but I will come in twice a week, once or twice a week, to meet people, talk to them, etc. And then actually 21% said I prefer to work from home regularly. And we checked it again between senior management, middle management, and versus the total. And you can see that in general, it's this 44% that say, I would prefer to come to work to the office 1 or 2 times a day. And it's about 20. You can see that senior managers actually more than middle managers and individual contributors prefer to work from home regularly. So it's not like it seems. And don't expect, And we checked if people are aware of their preferences related to productivity. And we can see that, like if we look at 54% were very productive working from home and prefer to work from home. So people are aware of productivity when they answer this question. It's not about resting at home, okay? They actually prefer to work from home because they are very productive working from home.
Mhm.
And only 10% said, I'm not productive working from home and I prefer to do that. So people are not just saying this irresponsibly at all. They're very responsible answering this question. And we checked it to see between parents and non-parents, no difference, very, very similar answers. So parenting doesn't make you want to work from the office more or less. And we also checked it by age groups, okay? And we saw that low productivity working from home and preference to work from the office is actually 24%, 55 and up. Okay, they prefer to work from the office, and only 11% of the younger people. So you can see this is age related as well. The preference to work from the office is the older people wanted to come back in a way more than the younger people. And on the other hand, even though they were productive working from home, the younger people, they prefer to work from the office because they want to meet each other. Okay, you can see that high 32% in the middle group. So, I mean, we need to be aware that this is a very personal, very, very personal decision, and we need to see and check with every employee. So this, again, we see that senior managers, okay, are productive. So what have we learned? Okay, I'm just summarizing. We've learned that, keep going.
Yep.
Being at work does not mean being at the office to people at all. And the new normal is not going to be the same. And that people expect to be able to work from home after proving they can be very productive. Okay, it's not a perk. It's part of work.
Yeah.
Employees need to connect, and communication and tech tools help HR and managers do the job.
Amazing. Yeah, I think, first of all, thank you so much, Zoe, for all that hard work you've done compiling that research, putting it together, giving us this perspective that really pieces together what people's experience has been, what their preferences are, and what companies need to do in order to help their employees feel connected. That's part of it, is just simply keeping them informed. I mean, it's
I have
really
one more
amazing.
important tip, I think.
Sure.
I see our HR managers that are customers, they're sending out a survey to their employees. They're calling a status survey, and they're asking them these questions. I actually have a template if people want, with questions about checking their experience working from home, and how ready they are to come back, and what are their expectations, and what are they concerned with, and how they're setting up the offices. And the survey is actually part of the communications plan to build the strategy of bringing people back. And like at Hibob, they decided that every team has their days to come back. And they're not coming back yet in London and New York, but we are coming back in Israel. But we're doing it slowly and by teams. So it was all based on this questionnaire, how HR built their strategy.
Cool. Amazing. I love it. And I'm really, really grateful for you sharing that with us. And this actually touches exactly what Powtoon is for. Visual communications. Make those communications matter. Make them land. Make them have an impact so that you can improve the confidence of your colleagues and your employees as you guys return to the office, or don't return to the office, or build some hybrid of that. So it's time for the lightning round. We're just briefly going to run through 5 video templates to help you guys succeed in your post-COVID return with visual communications. And without further ado, number 1, the team shout out. We heard from Zoe that shout outs were so important. Why not make it a video shout out? Anytime you're coming back to the office, you're going to want to have that information about how to stay safe. Where do I find the thermometer to take my temperature? How many people can sit in one office now? Does there need to be a space in between? All those sorts of things. What are the food options? What are the rules for the kitchen? anything like that you can address with this video template. Number 3, grand reopening. Hey, do you have a physical location? Do you have a store? Are you going to have new curbside pickup options? Will you have a new cleaning regimen to keep your customers safe? Will they be required to wear masks? Will you have masks and hand sanitizer available for them? Keep your customers informed about your grand reopening. Do it with video and visual communications. Hey, by the way, companies may want to update internally too about statistics or information that is just a little bit dry and might belong on a spreadsheet. Well, you can present that visually with an infographic video template. Check that out. Brand new. By the way, I believe all of these have been released in the last 2 weeks. Dan Nathan can correct me if I am wrong, but these are brand new to the platform and people have been asking for them. Number 5, COVID-19 client update. Don't forget about your clients. I know that many companies are very concerned about what's going to happen next. How do we find new customers? And that's definitely a concern we need to worry about. But don't forget about the clients you already have. They need communication to feel confident in your services or goods that you're providing for them. Do let them know what is up. What are your plans? What does this mean for them as your client? And just because I feel like doing a bonus template, the video chat web demo. This one is so great and touches on what Dan Nathan was mentioning earlier, that if you need to train your colleagues on a new piece of software, one specifically about working remotely or the hybrid workplace, one specifically about your health and safety in the office, whatever the case is, if you want to train your colleagues in a simple, straightforward way on how to use a new and essential piece of software to help your hybrid and return to work situation happen, this is there for you on the Powtoon platform. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. I believe Dan Nathan has been collecting questions along the way. If you haven't had a chance yet, go ahead and put a question in that question box. We'll keep an eye on it. And Dan Nathan, please take it away. What's our first question, either for the Powtoon team here or for Zoe from Hibob and all of her, not now, sorry about that, everybody, for that visual problem, not that.
Okay, yeah.
But you go ahead and take over and I'll bring our visuals back. Here we go.
Awesome stuff. So the first question is actually for Zoe. A few people have asked this, including Kimberly King. Kimberly, thank you for posing this question. They love the questionnaire, the employee questionnaire, Zoe, and there's quite a few people here who want to know if they can get a copy of the entire questionnaire, because it's a great way for them to engage with their employees. So maybe if that's something we can work out in the follow-up email, that would be awesome.
If you, I'm assuming you're going to send out a follow-up email. I'll give you the link. I actually finished uploading it today to the website, so you guys can have access to it.
Excellent.
Great stuff. There's a few other, they're questions, but they're also statements that people are making. The people here from various parts of the world where they're struggling with internet, where they're struggling to get good connections, and they have no choice but to work from home. And they're saying, there's a few people here, I think Mary Lou said, it's a real struggle to work from home, especially when you need reliable internet, because here in the Philippines, the internet is a struggle. And we hear you. We really hear you there, Mary Lou. In fact, we do have an office out there in the Philippines as well. So we're fully aware of the difficulty working from home with an unreliable internet, but hopefully that's going to be behind us soon, and you'll be able to return to the office. So that's good as well.
If I could just break in, Zoe, is that something that came up at all in any of your research in terms of the resources that employees need to work from home? Internet connectivity, an issue that came up at all?
No, not really. Everybody complains about video calls because but they don't. It's kind of like a fact of life.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's an issue, but it's kind of like they don't even mention it anymore. They do ask for good earphones.
Okay, awesome. Dan, please continue.
Absolutely. Great question here from Philip Bauer. Love that name, Bauer. Reminds me of Jack Bauer from 24. Philip asks, is it possible to create or add, now this is not necessarily related to COVID, but is it possible to create or add more characters? Question not related to the webinar, he said. Thank you, Philip. The answer is yes. Actually, coincidentally, Powtoon has just released in recent weeks a character builder. You need to be a Pro Plus premium member upwards, a Pro Plus or agency member to be able to access that. But we do have a brand new character creator available if you're a Pro Plus or agency user. Is there a copy of the recording? Yes, we've had that question asked a lot, guys. There will be a copy of the recording sent out in the next day or so, with hopefully with the link to Zoe's questionnaire as well. I think we're good for the time being, Nick.
Excellent, wonderful. So I want to just briefly thank Zoe one more time for all of your awesome work, all of your research. Of course, you're on LinkedIn. If people want to connect with you there, they can email you, zohar.haimovitch@hibob.io. And of course, if they're interested in learning more about Bob and an HR engagement platform and information system, go ahead and go to hibob.com for more information there. As Dan Nathan said, tomorrow via email, you will receive a replay, a link to an on-demand video recording of our conversation today. And you will also receive links to, we have a guide for working in this new remote world. You'll receive a link to that. And we're going to also put in the link to that return to work survey that Zoe talked about and mentioned. I do want to just mention to you guys all, communication today is more than just a video call. And we've seen in the data the difference that it makes. So experience the difference, experience visual communications, experience Powtoon, you guys. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my co-host, Dan Nathan. To all of you out there, stay safe, stay connected, and stay awesome. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.